YouTuber birds. It's the 4th of November. It's a brisk day outside. Well, it says it's 50, but it feels cold. Well, actually, I have a problem. My furnace, I told you that. So, yeah. At any rate, um, I lost my train of thought. I wanted to share a video, trying to figure out how to do it. I wanted to share something I got an email about. Trying to figure out how to do this. But so let's see what I can do here. Nope. 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 This Eversource is the power company which we used to have a power company called um, Western Electric, which was just the Berkshires, the western part of Massachusetts. And Massachusetts was divided up into a few electric companies. Now Eversource owns, I think, primarily everything in New England. It's a big, and they own the natural gas too. You know, it's just a takeover, a big takeover. Just the way things work. If you got money, you buy more customers. So anyway, I get this every month, and they tell me that I use more power than everybody else. Now they don't mind collecting my money for the power I use, but they tell me I should reduce my usage. And so I'm at 1 kilowatt for the last month, and I could probably open up another show and show you what my acid usage is. Now I am running a greenhouse, and Eversource doesn't know I'm running a greenhouse that has lights in it and heating pads and stuff, or air conditioner. That's my highest usage thing in the house. I do have a refrigerator, a freezer, and other. I have things. I would think everybody has things. But see, the killer of the average here is this 135 kilowatt hour energy efficient neighbor. Now down the street, actually my neighbor to my left or to the east is a farm, and I'm sure they're using more power than me by a lot because I'm pretty sure they do. And then a few houses down, there's a house that has solar panels on the roof. Now, Eversource isn't really crazy about people having solar panels because they charge customers by their usage, and they charge for that's how they do their service charge is by usage. They don't charge you $10 a month, no matter how much power you use. The more power you use, the more service they use. So people having solar panels actually reduces that thing, even though it helps the overall picture of the demand. So this is why I want to reduce my purchasing from Eversource, even though it is more expensive to build a solar system and wind because it has an immediate impact on the budget versus just paying a monthly bill of $100 to $150 depending on my if I run the dehydrator, it adds on another $10 if I'm dehydrating mushrooms. That adds on to more of the bottom line for my electric bill. So adding into the farm budget, I think it's probably about $50 a month is part of the farm, which is like a third of my usage, which is probably this part right here. This part over here is probably the farm part, and it's just the greenhouse. Um, But there's a lot of benefits to running my little farm. I get, the added nutrition of the greens. It gives me something to do with my life, and it makes me some money. And so, that's what we do. People have hobbies, and some people have a lot more expensive hobbies than mine. so, um, so that's what I'm doing with growing my system. Now, the other thing I wanted to share with you is this, and I'll put a link to his channel. He's just did a little speech about his solar system, and if you look at his last 3 videos, you'll see how he has kind of created, basically what he has done with his system is that he has a lot of microsystems to run different sections of his home. So instead of, you can go out and buy yourself a large capacity inverter from, various places. Like one of my favorite places that I like shopping from Alt-E only because they're within this state and I can get stuff the next day without paying extra for it. And their prices are pretty good, although I always check their prices against other places. Like I was looking at a 300 amp switch, on-off switch for the battery bank, and it was half price on Amazon with shipping, which, is a reason for me to buy it from Amazon instead of buying it from Alt-E. But then again, if I'm buying things that are like, say, solar panels, I can drive to Alt-E in about, 2.5 hours versus paying for a freight charge from somebody. So it's well worth it to me to pursue it this way if, you know. But anyway, they actually have a pretty good intensive online catalog so that I can just do research from them also. So, I mean, just for example here, if you go to, inverters, say you wanted to go with a large inverter to run your house, you're looking at, you know, at least $2 grand for that. And that's just the box itself. You really want to go with an inverter panel, but you know, now inverters aren't cheap anyway. But if you go with smaller inverters and section off your house, I mean, if you have a 3,500 watt inverter, you're still only talking about 30 amps of power. So if you've got a 200 amp panel and you're running most of your house, well, obviously, if you're off the grid, you're not going to be using all 200 amps. You're not going to use 100 amps. You're going to cut down on your usage, but it's a good way of going about creating microsystems throughout your house instead of being dependent on running the entire house. And it also helps you grow your system because it's okay. I'm just going to get my workshop off grid for now, and you do that. And then if the grid goes down, you can at least use that power to run part of your house to keep your heat going and the refrigerator going and the 52-inch plasma. So by working on your systems in small pieces, it sure helps a lot. And let's see, we're already at 9 minutes. I babble too much. And here's just so I'm going to share this. This is what I do when I'm watching videos. I like to play cards. So so this is my distraction while I'm watching your videos. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. I'm kind of a multitasker. But that's about it. It's a beautiful day outside, and I'm sure it's beautiful everywhere, even if it's raining someplace. Ta-ta.